The challenge has been given. All right. So we have a couple of personal stories to read, but I think we also have our Porchlight guest who would probably like to take this opportunity to come up and share their story with us.
Can you guys hear me okay? All right, I've never been accused of not talking enough. So my name is Beatrice, and I'm with Porchlight, and I'll just give you a little bit of background about me and then about the veterans that we serve. I started out as a receptionist there about 3 years ago after I graduated from UW-Madison, and I just loved it. It was just an instant place where I felt like I was doing something that made an impact in people's lives. So, and we couldn't do what we do without all of your support, so I'll touch on that a little bit. Since then, I have moved into a role of development with Porchlight, and so I get to meet people like you every day, and that's probably part of my favorite job, or the favorite part of my job. I just get to share our stories, and you guys get to tell me about how awesome I am, so it works out really well. So I want to share a story with you guys about a man named Brian. He is a veteran. He was one of the first people I met when I was in the receptionist position. People would come in and check on their applications because unfortunately we have such a large need for our housing that we have a wait list that's about 6 months long, even for our veterans. So Brian came in and I helped him fill out an application, and he asked me a lot of questions about what does the veteran housing do and what do I have to do to get into housing. And I was like, well, it's my first week here, so I'll get back to you on that. But since then, and I could just tell that he was in a really bad place. It kind of took about a half hour of cajoling for him to actually fill out the application with me, which was all of 4 pages, and for me to kind of help him write it down. And every time he would sort of be a little bit hesitant and say, you know, I'm not really sure if I'm ready for something like this. And thinking back, it's amazing how hesitant he was and how kind of scared and anxious he was. I could see that it was really causing him a lot of physical discomfort. Well, I found out that he'd actually applied for housing a couple times, but he had a couple substance abuse issues and he had some severe depression and anxiety that was really affecting how he interacted with everyone in his lives and how he was kind of moving forward in his life. So he'd been on the streets for about 2 to 3 years, on and off. He couldn't hold down a job because of a disability that he had occurred to him while he was in service to his back. So he couldn't stand for very long, he couldn't sit for very long, and coupled with his inability to coupled with that, he felt sort of not very valuable in society. He felt like he didn't really have a place anymore, and so he would kind of just self-isolate a lot. And we see that a lot in the people that we serve, especially the veterans. They've been through a lot. We typically serve individuals who have sort of burned the bridges that they have everywhere, or that in their social support networks and their families and friendships, and we're kind of their last resort. We serve typically older veterans that are maybe from the Vietnam War, the Gulf War. We're not seeing too many people from the Iraq or Afghanistan War yet, and I hope that we don't. So, but anyway, so then Brian got into housing. Every month I would see him as he paid his rent, and about a year ago he actually moved into permanent housing. He was able to get counseling, AODA services, and also he just had somebody that could listen to him every time he had an anxious spell, every time he felt like he couldn't move forward. And now he's in permanent housing. He has become an avid cyclist, so every time I see him now, he's showing off his new bike tricks or his new helmet that's aerodynamic, and I have just seen him completely 180. It's a miracle to know that just a couple of people at Porchlight were able to just reach out to him, really connect with him, and make him feel like he had a safe place to go. So I just wanted to share that story with you because we did recognize him a couple years ago for how far he's come at our annual dinner, and that's coming up this year. I would invite all of you guys to attend that. I have some invitations, and you're going to hear an inspiring story about another vet this year, as well as the families and the other individuals that we serve. So I just wanted to share that story with you really quickly, and then see if you guys have any questions, or I could talk more about our veterans housing. It's a 24-unit building on Spring Street. We have two case managers there and a peer support specialist. We have AODA counseling. We have a free health clinic there once a week. We have a budget clinic there to help veterans as they slowly achieve income. And then we also offer 3 free meals a day, shower facilities, laundry, the whole, and basically helps a lot of people that have been staying on the streets, camping, staying in the shelters, sort of get back into normal swing of things, how they have a positive relationship with a landlord, how they have positive relationships with neighbors, and we also have a garden there. So I would encourage you guys to adopt a veteran for the holidays, help us fill up the welcome home baskets for new veterans who come in and have nothing except the clothes that they have on their back. We have opportunities to help cook holiday meals. The list goes on. We can help in the garden if you've got a green thumb. And just thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it.